Well, welcome back to Exhaust Sports Auto. My name is Kevin, and this is going to be your 1 week summary with the 2020 Toyota RAV4 TRD off-road package. So if you haven't seen it already, I already did a full in-depth review on the 2020 RAV4, and I've actually already done a 2019 Toyota RAV4 review as well. So these are both press cars. I had both of these vehicles for 1 week. The RAV4 is no longer with us. We have another vehicle to test out for you, and that will be the next video. But for right now, this is going to be your summary after me having this car for a week, my observations, thoughts, loves, dislikes, whatever. As a whole though, the Toyota RAV4 continues to build upon what I've always liked about Toyota, which is their secure driving feel. You know, they have a great feel out on the road where it's just, you feel at peace when you drive a Toyota, and they have that Toyota feel, which if you've driven other Toyota products, you know what I'm talking about. They're very relaxed in their driving characteristics, and that carries over here, so I do like that. Another thing that I mentioned, so we were previous owners of a 2013 RAV4, and obviously this new generation RAV4 completely dominates the previous generation RAV4. So if you're looking to upgrade, this is definitely the body style to get, no questions asked. Now, you might be looking at this off-road TRD package and you're probably like, is that thing really worth it? Should I get that full top of the line trim level? Like, is it a gimmick? Is there a reason to get it? Well, the thing starts at about $35,000, but obviously this one was fully loaded to the brim with the JBL audio, with the cold weather package, with all that stuff, and that pretty much, it ends up stickering at $41,000. That's how much the press car I had costed. And is that worth it to you? Well, you have to ask yourself, if you are in the market for a Toyota 4Runner, this actually might make more sense to you, because the 4Runner, I get it. I get the appeal of those 4Runner, Tacoma, Land Cruiser type things, Sequoias. They're all body on frame vehicles, truck-based vehicles, and they have a certain level of capability in terms of towing and all that good stuff, and even off-road. But here's the thing. Let's be honest. You're never going to tow, and you're never going to go off-road, except for the practical things like slight little trails, gravel. If you live up north, this makes a lot of sense, because if you have really horrible inclement weather, you live in like a farm area or something like that where you need some level of off-road capability, like a regular CUV, SUV won't cut it. This does make a lot of sense. And where this really makes sense is, like I mentioned, if you're in the market for a 4Runner, this gets far better gas mileage than any of those truck-based vehicles, because I was averaging nearly 25 mpg with aggressive driving. So I absolutely love the fuel economy of this thing. Of course, it takes regular fuel. It's that 203 horsepower dynamic force, 4-cylinder, no turbos, no nonsense. It's not the fastest thing in the world, not by a long shot. However, it's reliable, it's economical, it works, it's more than enough to move this thing around. You know, that's primarily it right there. You know, if you're looking at a 4Runner, this kind of has like those cool kind of rugged looks, but it's really capable. However, if you need capabilities, the regular RAV4 will do it. With the all-wheel drive, with the regular RAV4, if you're down south or whatever, and you get snow like occasionally, like you need to tackle something occasionally, the regular RAV4 is more than enough. Like the TRD is really overkill. Yeah, it gets the upgraded shocks and the springs and all that good stuff, the all-terrain tires with the flow-form wheels, the 18-inch flow-form wheels, and that's cool. But I really, if you're up north, it's something to look into. Or if you just like Toyotas and you're looking at a 4Runner, this is cheaper and more efficient. Now, I mentioned that engine a little bit. Now, that's one of the things that I dislike about this thing. Not so much because it's slow. I can get over that. I'm a foot to the floor type of person. But if you are foot to the floor with this thing, that engine sounds terrible. I mean, all 4 cylinders sound pretty terrible, but like this one is just so loud, and that's why I didn't like it. I said this about the 2020 Corolla as well. That was another press car I had, and when you floored it, you hear the engine just rev out all crazy, and it's just kind of obnoxious, if I'm going to be honest with you. And it's just something you have to see for yourself. I mean, I get it. Most of you people are mellow drivers. You go like 10 under the speed limit. So, you know, for you to just get in other people's way, this is more than enough. But when you hear that engine, it is quite a racket. Just saying. The Corolla didn't have an engine cover on it with like the insulation on it, but this one does have an engine cover, but it's still not really helping the cause at all. So that's just something I noticed. Another thing though, so this was a pretty important observation I made with the 2019 RAV4 when I had that as a press car. So I noticed this with the Corolla as well, the 2019 Corolla. And now I tried out the 2020 versions of both these vehicles, right? I noticed some instability out on the highway when I had the 2019 RAV4 as well as the 2019 Corolla. I noticed that it kind of moved around a little bit more than it should have. You know, the wind kind of affected it more. There was a little bit more turbulence. It felt like it was kind of hopping around a little bit. That type of sensation, right? Really was not the most confidence-inspiring thing. However, out on the regular roads, like 45 miles per hour driving, I love the 2019 RAV4 and the Corolla. They drove great. They were comfortable. They were reasonably refined, but that highway instability bothered me. However, with the 2020 RAV4, this TRD that I had, as well as the 2020 Corolla, I did not notice this highway stability. Both of these vehicles, I had them out on the highway on very windy days, doing some good legitimate speeds, and they were very stable, both of them. I get it. This RAV4 that I had was a TRD with the upgraded shocks and the tires. Maybe that made a difference, perhaps, but I think they truly made a difference here. So if you are in the market, please test drive it. Immediately take it on the highway, see how it feels. Hopefully it's good with the regular RAV4s as well. And that's the model I recommend. I recommend you getting like an XLE Premium, of course, but if you just like the way this looks, it is pretty rad. You can get a base model version of this TRD without all the options, and it'll be about 35 grand. So there is that, before dealer incentives, of course. One other dislike I had regarding the refinement, there is still that wind noise. It always feels like you have the front driver window kind of like half cracked, like there's like this little whistling sound coming from the outside. It protrudes in, and that is kind of annoying. I felt that with the 2019 RAV4 as well. It always felt like you had the window half cracked. Honestly, I love driving these new Toyota products. The only thing that they can improve upon is the refinement. You know, just make it a little bit quieter, make the engine quieter. You know, maybe put some double pane glass in these vehicles like they do with the Hyundai cars. Like the Santa Fe that had double pane glass that was really quiet, and maybe put some more insulation underneath the hood of the vehicle. And honestly, I think this is pretty good, especially since they fixed the stability issues out on the highway. This is pretty good. I do like it. It's a nice, controlled, secure feel when driving it. And also the interior, you know, very ergonomic, nice little touches, nice little rubberized controls for the climate control, little snowflake designs, you get the little red trims. I love the TRD branded like floor mats, like those rubberized floor mats. I love that. It's like laser cut for the RAV4. It's perfect. I'm sure it's probably made by WeatherTech or whatever, but I love it. It's great. Keeps the car clean. The seats, they're like this fake leather, but again, it's going to be easy to clean. This is going to be a nice, like, vehicle in terms of aging. Like the aging process is going to be pretty good on it. I feel like there's not going to be too many wrinkles with the materials on this thing. It's nice rugged materials all around. There are some hard touch plastics, but again, not really tripping over that. Some people don't like the infotainment. Me personally, I got used to it pretty quickly. It wasn't too bad. I do think Hyundai Kia has a superior infotainment system, but this is still pretty good. If you bought it, you can get used to it very easily. And again, your off-road controls, your all-wheel drive controls are all there in the center stack. Very simple, easy to understand, easy to use, and it is legitimately capable, more so with this TRD with the all-terrain tires. One last thing about the all-terrain tires, of course, when you go to the regular XLEs, you get those Toyo tires. They handle a lot better. This handles fine. It's not too ridiculous. You get like a slight humming sensation, and when you turn really hard in this thing, tires are a little bit more mushy, so it will squeal a little bit, but otherwise, the handling is very good with this. I said this about the 2019 RAV4 as well. Around city driving, handles great. But yeah, anyway, spacious interior, plenty of space behind the front two seats for me to sit behind myself. I'm 5'11". I fit in it perfectly. Plenty of trunk space as well with the spare tire as well. So very practical vehicle, sizable. I think it looks good personally. Drives pretty well. Just wish it was a little bit more refined, but as a whole, this is a nice vehicle. TRD package, consider if you're up north, or if you're looking to a 4Runner, this kind of gives you that similar look with better fuel economy. So fuel economy is a big like that I have with this car. Of course, reliability, resale value, it's going to be very high with this. So you can't really go wrong with the RAV4 as a whole, or really any Toyota, to be honest, when you look at it financially. So that's pretty much my overall thoughts. Hope you found value with it. Thank you again for watching. Take care and goodbye.